Hey, what's up guys, just Boost here and welcome back to actually a Yu-Gi-Oh video. Crazy! So yeah, today I'll be showing off the deck that I planned on playing at the European Championship. There was a lot of hype that maybe it would be the weekend of the 23rd of July. I thought so as well. So I was planning on playing this, the deck I'm going to be showing you, which will be a Sky Striker. I know it's my favorite deck I always played, but I actually think it's kind of insane, this format. I was really looking forward to playing it at Euros. I think the list I'm going to be showing you guys is really good, but as we know now, Euros will actually be held with the Splight set legal. So Sky Striker will probably not be the best pick. So I'm just going to be showing you guys the deck list so you can potentially have some fun with it for the remainder of the format. Yeah, and then after showing you guys the deck list, I'll talk a little bit about just some thoughts I have about the deck and how it performed for me. Yeah. Alright, so hopping into the deck profile, the start shouldn't be that much of a surprise to anyone. Of course, we're playing Triple Ray. Still the best card in the game, literally does everything. I always want to see this, and this is primarily going second list game 1. So you do have the 6th card, which increases your chances of seeing her. And then this has become like the standard ratio, I think, playing double Rose as well. 3 is just a little bit too much, but you really do need to see the starter, and if you don't see Ray, Rose is pretty much the next best thing. There's also just some cool interactions with, her graveyard effect. The mirror got kind of popular after Poe won the YCS with the Mystic Mind deck. And Rose actually really good in the mirror because it helps you easily out your opponent's Sky Striker links with stuff like Afterburner, because when they bring back the Ray, this chaining 1, so you can negate the Ray and they can't tag out, so you can just walk over it with your link potentially. But yeah, I mean, this ratio is just pretty much a standard, perfect. Then moving on to the hand traps, which we're playing a lot of. Of course, we're playing Ash. Ash is really good this format. The Despia deck is very popular, and Ash can just sometimes single-handedly win you the game. That matchup is very good anyway, but if you have Ash, it's just so much easier. It just has interaction against pretty much every deck, right? And in the current format, so pre-Splight, this card, the interactions it has against the other decks are actually good in most situations. Like just against Sword Soul, it's usually a little bit mediocre, but even there, just trading it 1-for-1 against the Searcher spell or something like Ashina, very good. And then we're playing triple Effective Failure. I mean, what's to say about Effect Failure, right? Almost every deck really focuses on monster effects this format. This is just good in pretty much every matchup. Again, just like Ash, Vader might even be a little bit better. And then I'm also playing the Access Code Celine package. So it's just nice to have this in deck. Anyway, as a spellcaster. And then I decided to play a main deck Nibiru. Again, I think this card is just very good, especially going second. There's a lot of combo decks, and if you open Nibiru plus Vader or Nibiru and Impermanence, for example, that can just single-handedly win you the game. This card definitely performed super well for me in the tournaments I played with this deck. I was very happy main decking this. It's also nice, if your opponent's main decking this, which is kind of popular, then it doesn't really interact with your deck that much. And sometimes you can even hit Flu Wonderies with this, which is very funny. Again, these cards are also amazing against Flu Wonderies, which is a very popular deck. So yeah, that's for the monster hand traps. I am also playing Impermanence, but that makes 12 hand traps in total. But we're playing, of course, a lot of more going second cards than just 12. And you don't even always need hand traps to win going second. Of course, we're playing Triple Widow Anchor. What's to say, right? This card also helps you just beat fuse when you're going second. It potentially stops our very good friend Scythe as well. It's just a good defensive card, this card just broken. Then I'm playing double Afterburner. I think this is also becoming a little bit more standard. I was playing double Shark Cannon first. In my nationals list, I also actually played double shotgun and one afterburner, but then after that I swapped it out. And at this 3 vs 3 at nationals, I also played double afterburner. I just think it's very good, especially going second. It's always live. It's just something to pop. Trades 1 for 1 with a negate, and then later in the game against more grindy decks, it becomes 1 for 2, which is amazingly strong, and you just really need access to this card a lot of the time, because sometimes it can be hard to deal with big monsters. I'm playing 1 Shark Cannon. I was playing 2 just because the interaction against Scythe is very good, but honestly the second afterburner just comes up a lot more than Shark Cannon does. Shark Cannon is still good though, it's good against certain matchups. You can do cool stuff with, banishing it in the end with Shizuku Surge, add this, banish the Tenyi, and then set it back with multi-roll, for example. And then it's just also really good against stuff like Drytron, which I think is slowly getting a little bit more popular again. But yeah, I think 1 is fine, to be honest. And then other one-offs, we're playing 1 Area Zero. Honestly, this card's kind of bad. However, we are playing the Fuse Spell package, and if you're running Terraform, you might as well play this. It's like sort of a consistency card. Multi-roll obviously, then Hornet Drones, and the best card, I said raise the best card, which it is, but this is definitely the second best card. And I wouldn't really say it's your win condition, but if you manage to resolve this 2 times in 1 turn for +1, the game is usually over in your favor. So yeah, not much to explain. I think this ratio is, it's honestly, I think it's perfect. I'm very happy with the Sky Striker ratio. Then the fun cards. Like, I want to stress, I'm not playing like the Mice with Land build, but I am playing Mystic Mine, we're just going second, and this is like, it's weird, but it's like a pseudo starter, right? If you don't see a starter, but you do see this, you can usually like bait the negates and just mine them until you do see a starter. I would never recommend just sitting on this and hoping to deck your opponent out. I would always just go for, as soon as you can, just start to play just a mass advantage, and then start playing. You can even just start playing under this. If your opponent has multiple monsters, just go for Hayate, Kagami Shizuku stuff, or just Hayate Shizuku stuff, which is usually a little bit better in the early game. Yeah, and just not stall out the game. As soon as you have a chance to go for a game, go for it. I've seen a lot of feature matches where the Sky Striker player is just kind of sitting on this, and even though he literally has game, like if he just plays his cards, he's gonna do 8,000 damage, he just doesn't do it. Just incorrect to always go for game, especially because people know about the deck and mine. There's a reasonable chance there is an out in their deck, and just don't want to risk getting blown out and then losing just because you didn't want to play in their mine. Then I'm playing Terraforming. It's like the 4th mine, and it's also the 2nd Area Zero. I also, mine sometimes can also just function as a negate bait, where they basically have to negate this, and then after that you can start playing at actually a mass advantage with cards like Engage, so that's cool to keep in mind. Then 1 Reinforcement of the Army, nothing to say about that. Call by the Grave, that's a very good card. This might be a little bit interesting, but I'm playing 1 Harpy's Feather Duster main. It's mostly because, if I have mined my opponents, and at some point I really want to start playing, it's just very nice to have this as a one-off to get rid of all their back rows, so your plays are most likely going to resolve. And I also figured, Sky Striker would be more popular again, and this card is very good in the mirror. I did resolve this in the mirror a couple of times, and it did win me pretty much the game, because it's trade 1 for like 3 or 1 for 4, and then it's just way too good, right? Also good against Flounder. Honestly, I know a lot of people say like you shouldn't main Feather Duster because there's decks that don't play back row, and there's definitely something to say for that, but I think most of the decks at least play Impermanence and stuff like that, Droplet, right? So you can at least trade 1 for 1 usually with this. I think this card is good, I would still main deck it. Then I'm playing double Droplets. I was playing 3, but I had to make space for the Feather Duster. And we're already playing a lot of going Sand cards, right? But the Droplet does, it's one of the best ones in that, just by itself. It means you will be able to play. However, sometimes the trade-off in this deck is a little bit hard, where you have to discard too much cards, and you can't really get the advantage of that. Like, sometimes there's just like broken interaction where you can go like Afterburner, then chain this, and then, you have 3 spells in grave. Same with cards like Engage and Anchor, and that's kind of crazy. But sometimes just doesn't happen. But I think 2 was fine. As you see, we're playing like a bazillion going second cards, so we shouldn't really have to rely on drawing this. And then this card's just the best card. I know people are like, oh, Prosperity is bad, but this card's just nice, right? Sometimes you do struggle with seeing your starters, and even like if you after Prosperity, if I don't see a starter, I just Prosperity for 6, like a lot of people are against that, but you can definitely do it, and if you know, even if you don't see a starter, you should at least see mine so you can stay in the game. Yeah, and then like I said, you know, Impermanence, already talked about that, just to round out the 12 hand traps, and then I did play Metaverse. You know, just if they make you go first, it's good to get access to mine. Potentially, if they're playing stuff like Cyclone, you can just go into the mine again with this. Yeah, this card it's just good. Alright, then moving on to the extra deck, which isn't that special, but we'll just do it quickly. So, triple Kagari, triple Shizuku. I know some people are playing 2, but I know 3 is fine. I think the extra deck's perfectly fine. Double Ayate, 1 Kaina, the Zeke. So this is basically the only spot I would be like, you can potentially change this. And if I would change this, I would play the third Hayate. But I want to play this because anti-spell is really popular, and sometimes you know, you can go into this with like Rose and Ray, or like Hornet Drones, Rose or Ray and stuff like that. So you can just out the anti-spell and start playing, which is nice. And then this package. You know, these both go into Celine to go into Access Code, but then this, you know, as the added bonus, where it's just really good against Despia, because you can, like, just summon their really big eyes and go for game. Yeah, don't want to waste too much time talking about those. And then, for the side deck, which is kind of where the spice is, to be honest, Triple Twin Twister, this is obviously not spicy, but, you know, you need to have something to just not auto-lose to anti-spell. I did play Lightning Storm. You know, it's just good against back row's decks. Eldlik is still a deck. It's not super popular, but you know, you need to have something to beat decks like that. I know against some combo like, or just, you know, more monster focused decks, it's also just good because, you know, it forces a negate basically. It's also good against Fluwander specifically, and I really wanted to have enough stuff to play against Fluwanderies because the matchup is just kind of horrendous, I think, if you're not playing the appropriate cards. But I think in my list I am playing those cards. A little bit sad, like at Nationals I got kicked out by Fluwanderies, which was my only actual loss, I would say. And then after that, in the 3v3 I played against 2 or 3 and I beat them all. And then like I played locals after the week after, and I played against Fluwander twice and I beat him as well. The same guy who beat me at Nationals as well, who got second actually, shout out to Enzo. So, you know, that's, I don't know, just what it is. But yeah, this is like the spicy part. I'm playing triple shared right, and this card's just absolutely, it's insane. I mostly played against Fluwander because, you know, you either force them to stop just playing, or you make them give you like 3 or 4 cards, and then, you know, if you have that many cards, you should definitely be able to break the board. With Sky Striker becoming more popular again, this card's also crazy. Like my opponents made me go first in the mirror as they shoot, and then, you know, you just set this, and they're most likely not even playing this card in their entire deck list. And if you see like 1 or 2 of those, you know, you just keep making them stop, you just win the game. This card's absolutely insane. I was really looking forward to destroying people with this at Euros, but you know, I probably won't be playing Sky Striker, and other people won't be playing Sky Striker either, so that's a little bit sad. But yeah, this card's absolutely insane. Like, while Splight's not out, definitely play this. Then a little bit of trap package for Dimensional Barrier, or this could be Impermanence as well, I guess. But yeah, just, you know, Barrier kind of crazy, pretty much out of wins against stuff like Despia and Sword Soul, and not much to say about it really. And then I played some more hand traps, which were double DD Crow, and just against, you know, decks where DD Crow is good against Despia mostly, but it's also good against the Scythe decks because, you know, you can just DD Crow the Scythe, and then mostly their combo doesn't really do much else because that's just the kind of format we're in right now. But yeah, if anything, I would say you can probably change these out for some other cards, but I don't know, I think definitely they were good. So yeah. Alright guys, that was the deck list. I think it's really good. I played almost this exact deck at Nationals, where I didn't do so well. However, I wouldn't say it was because the deck was bad or even because I played bad. I just took some losses I shouldn't have. You know, because of certain rules Konami has implanted for tournament play, which is a little bit unlucky. I honestly think I took like one actual loss, which was fine, and then the 2 other losses I took. Just some very unfortunate circumstances. The thing is, after Nationals, I played like I think like 12 more matches in tournament play with this deck at the 3v3 tournament at Nationals, which we won, where I went undefeated. Then I won locals with it as well, going undefeated again, and then in like a win-a-box tournament online. I also didn't drop a single match yet. I just think the deck is very, very good. It's very fun. I'm still playing Mystic Mine, I know, but I definitely think the deck is nice. I highly recommend, you know, if you enjoy playing Sky Striker, try this list going second. It's more fun to play than just, you know, the Mice of the Land build. I really didn't want to focus on those cards just because, you know, the word was out, people knew about the Mine deck. So I didn't think it was that good to really focus on Mine as Poe did. I also didn't want to main deck the barriers just because, you know, this was mostly made for the Netherlands meta, and the truth is, like, you're not always going to be playing against Despia or Sorcel. But even without those, I think you should probably win both matchups. I think both matchups are definitely favorable. I think, honestly, there's almost no bad matchups against Fluanderies, but as you saw, we're playing a lot of cards, so we can beat that deck. Yeah, very sad I won't be able to play this at the Euros in August. But it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Hope it gave you some insight. The deck is very cool, of course. Sky Striker, best deck, Race Bay, etc, etc. Yeah, that was the video. You know, like, comment, subscribe, yada yada. See you in the next one. Bye!